Ground.
Why does it take so long to shoot a short scene in a motion picture? Any idea? Do you remember what they told you?
Yeah, they said that when you have all the makeup on, the lights, after you're in the lights for a long time, that the makeup will start running down your face, so they bring in the air conditioners and cool the place down.
You know, the next question was, how does heat affect filmmaking? So you answered that pretty good.
In the Bionic Woman sequence, you saw someone jump over an airplane. Do you think you could really jump 50 feet with one bound?
If John Travolta was standing on the other side, I'm sure he could.
There's a lot to see and enjoy at Universal Studios, and our tour is getting away, so back to the tram.
We're now driving through our prop department warehouse. It's just like your attic, except we have 5 million things in ours, and we know where they all are. Every item is cataloged and neatly stored. We've been collecting furniture, knickknacks, paintings, 200,000 books and miscellaneous articles for over 50 years. They're all cross-indexed and they're ready for action. And if they're not ready, we have a painting and refinishing department right there, where they can make new things look old and old things look new. I've been trying to get an appointment there for months. This is the soundstage where Same Time Next Year was filmed. And here's Wall Street, where we store all of our wild walls and fireplaces. Over there is the transportation department, and if you look carefully, you'll see Columbo's old car. Here's one of the big rigs used in BJ and the Bear. We have over 2,000 cars and trucks stored here. And now we're turning on to Colonial Street. It's a street of facades, house fronts that look real, but aren't. You'll recognize many of them.
Some people recognize all of them. These are the most famous addresses in show business. It starts with Alfred Hitchcock's Marnie House, then Sean Cassidy's house from the Hardy Boys. Across the street is 1313 Mockingbird Lane, home of the Munsters. Next door is the home where Jimmy Stewart lived with his 6-foot rabbit Harvey.
If you walked in the front door of any of these houses, you'd be in the Universal Studios lumberyard, because there are no backs to these houses.
This beautiful street also includes the noteworthy Delta House, seen in National Lampoon Animal House. Next door stands the Cleaver House from Leave It to Beaver, which was also occupied by Marcus Welby, MD.
Here's Nancy Drew's house right over here. And there's where John Forsythe lived for many years as bachelor father. But enough of the suburbs. Let's go downtown. And going from the suburbs to downtown is as easy as turning a corner. This is Brownstone Street. And here's the drugstore where that famous phone call was placed in The Sting. And from that same film, here's the street Robert Shaw as Doyle Lonigan walked up. If you saw Lady Sings the Blues, you might recognize those steps right there. Diana Ross scrubbed them in her portrayal of Billie Holiday. Next door is the old apartment house where Abbott and Costello used to live. We also used this street in Little Miss Marker with Julie Andrews and a TV movie called The Rebels.
If these streets look familiar, they should be. They've been New York in Kojak, Chicago for The Sting, San Francisco in Ironside, Los Angeles in Earthquake, East Berlin in Torn Curtain, and Honolulu in The Incredible Hulk. The signs are repainted to match the era and locale. Fresh paint or old paint is applied to the neighborhood to make it rich or poor, new or old.
This corner building matches the first 2 floors of the MCA Tower. When we filmed Earthquake, that tower was supposed to be destroyed. We picked up the reflection of the real tower on a sheet of plexiglass and shot the reflection. By bending the plexiglass, it appeared as though the building was falling down. Then we cut to close-ups of this mock-up where giant foam bricks came crashing down on the actors, giving the illusion of total destruction.
Illusion. It's an appropriate word and a reoccurring one. For Universal City is a land of illusion, where reality is sometimes just out of reach, as our unsuspecting tour is about to find out.
Over on my side of the Glamour tram, you can see one of our curiosity pieces, the oldest structure on the lot. It's a bridge built back in 1915 by our founder, Carl Laemmle. We'll circle up on the other side of the bridge. It used to be part of the tour, but it was condemned a couple of days ago, so until it's rebuilt, John, it's the road to the left. So until it's rebuilt, John, you took the wrong turn. We're not supposed to go across the bridge. We're not supposed to be on here, John. Oh! What? Hang on, everybody! Hang on! Oh! Okay, we made it!
What the tour group just experienced is another contribution of the Universal Studios special effects team. The bridge was built in 1974. You may have seen it in The Bionic Woman. Jamie Summers dove off it into the lake below. The creaks, bangs, and crashing sound effects are all taped and played back on hidden speakers. A giant hydraulic system spins supporting beams off into space, while the actual floor of the bridge drops twice. And then it rebuilds itself every 3 minutes. It only drops a few feet, but it feels like 50. Many people don't realize that it's an effect until they see it rebuilding itself as they drive away.
Wow, I was kind of scared.
Thought we were goners.
When the bridge collapsed, I almost had heart failure.
It made my stomach jump.
I just thought it was just the front part was just gonna collapse, not the part we were on. That it's fun. It seems like that it's really happening.
It's all in fun, and there's a lot more of that ahead. So let's catch up with our tour as the tram heads into the forest.
We're heading down the hill on Pine Tree Road. You may never have seen this road before, at least the asphalt part of it, because much of the time we cover it with dirt for a western. That shack over there has been the hideout of countless outlaw gangs. It was also dressed to be a hunting lodge in the Hardy Boys. You may have seen Maximilian Schell play a scene in this forest, but for him, we sprayed on a layer of snow. And as we turn the corner and head for town, we find ourselves on the Appian Way. It got its name from the film Spartacus, directed by Stanley Kubrick. You saw 2,000 Roman legionnaires parade down this road. The village we're now entering is Old Mexico, although it's also been Spain, Jamaica, and Vietnam. Uh-oh, it sounds like rain. And it looks like rain. Of course, this is Hollywood, so it's not really rain. There are sprinklers hidden up in the trees to make it look like rain, and that's the way it's done in most movies. The thunder comes from speakers hidden in the shrubbery. There's nothing real about this rain except the water. But do you hear something? What's that noise? It looks like a flash flood. Look out! Okay, I think we're out of danger, but look out for that tree! Okay, that was a close one.
Another example of the Universal Studios Special Effects Department has just surprised the Glamour Tram passengers. 2,000 gallons of water are released from a dam hidden just out of sight. A 5-foot wall of water comes crashing down straight at the tour group. But a well-engineered drain system sucks all the water away from the exposed Glamour Tram and recycles it back up the hill to await the next unsuspecting group. It's similar to the flood that chased Richard Roundtree in Earthquake. Then the falling tree narrowly misses the parked tram and hydraulically recycles itself to an upright position.
And now we're on the dusty thoroughfares of Universal's sleepy little Mexican town. Marlon Brando walked these streets in 2 different films, Appaloosa and The Ugly American. Jack Klugman was here on A Mission of Mercy in Quincy. And Walk Proud was filmed here too. As we turn the corner leaving Mexico, we enter the Oklahoma Territory. This is the Wild West we all know because this is 6 Points, Texas, where 6 different western streets all converge. The most famous movie cowboys in the world have walked through these thoroughfares. Tom Mix, Hoot Gibson, Jimmy Stewart, and John Wayne shot it out with the bad guys right here. Even W.C. Fields and Mae West visited that saloon over there.
The tour is now moving into Universal's back lot. They're in the middle of exterior sets that have been seen by millions of moviegoers. Each time they're used, they're dressed for the occasion with new or old signs, sometime lettered in foreign languages. For the tropics, they wheel in the palm trees, and for the cold northern climates, they spray on a little ice. The tram passes Bo Radley's house in To Kill a Mockingbird. Gregory Peck won an Academy Award for his role as Atticus Finch. And the Universal 747 soundstage, where the original airport was filmed, as well as scenes from the Concorde Airport 79. Many people recognize the world's most famous motel, 90 Bristol Court. Its tenants have included Elvis Presley, James Garner, Rock Hudson, Jack Webb, Raymond Burr, Jack Klugman, and Robert Wagner.
You may be surprised to learn that this little lake we're coming to now is the entire Pacific Ocean in McHale's Navy. We built a wooden mock-up of a PT boat at the edge of the lake. Then, just like the motorcycle ride on the Pasadena Freeway, we used a rear screen projector to get the effect of being out on the ocean. But unless I'm mistaken, there's a submarine left over from the series that's trailing us now. There it is over there. I hope they're friendly. Uh-oh! Oh, that was a close call. Now what are we going to do? We had to turn to avoid the torpedo, and we're heading straight for the Red Sea. This could be a problem.
It was a problem for Universal's engineers. They devised a system that instantly drains 40,000 gallons of water out of the middle of the lake.
Part, O ye waters!
The water is pumped into a reservoir to the left of the tram, where it is held in readiness for the next tram. After the tour group is clear, the passageway disappears beneath the churning waters.
For those of you who won't be going abroad this year, welcome to Europe. This section of our back lot has portrayed virtually every European country. It's been France, Germany, Hungary, Italy, Spain, Finland, Russia, and Monte Carlo. We filmed All's Quiet on the Western Front here. It received the Academy Award for Best Picture in 1929. This section of the back lot burnt to the ground in 1967, and we filmed the fire. Then we rebuilt exactly like the original, and now when we need pictures of these buildings on fire, we have them stored in a film vault.
This section of the back lot includes the square from which Spartacus addressed the Roman legions. It was also the Kremlin in a MacLeod matte painting sequence. The Court of Miracles next door was the scene of Frankenstein's first public appearance. Lon Chaney was there in The Hunchback of Notre Dame, and Lon Chaney Jr. used it as the Wolfman. Another of Universal's famous monsters also flew in for a film or two, Bela Lugosi as Dracula.
And over here is the Tower of London. Boris Karloff scampered around the parapets in 1939. Spencer Tracy meditated there in Judgment at Nuremberg. Over on the driver's side is the corral where we kept Francis the Talking Mule. Donald O'Connor starred in 7 Francis films for Universal.